And Allison, told the entire world that she has a weird obsession with blood. Like, so she's got the most insane cult following, and people admire that and think it's so cool and interesting that she wants to paint with her own blood.
Why the hell so many people are trying to tell me to slow down? Seems like motherfuckers should be shutting the hell up and enjoying the show.
You strike me as like all the way Caucasian. I was like, she has to be mixed with something.
I'm not. Okay. I'm a whole mix of things.
I love it.
Hello, it's such a pleasure to meet you.
You too. Shek, are we recording? Yes. Okay. I caught your video a few months ago circulating around the blog.
Yeah, that one was pretty crazy.
I'm going to be honest with you. It was a little hard to pay attention to the details because you looked absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
I was just like, I miss my mohawk and all the colors. But no, I did definitely get the message. And I told my team, I said, I have to talk to her pretty soon. So I'm glad that we were able to.
So much. I appreciate you offering your platform and your page to me, and getting the truth out. And there's so many secrets that I have held on to for 10 years that I realized, even though through all my therapy and getting to be the best me, right, that I've still just been protecting and carrying this weight that has been super heavy. And like during quarantine, there's a internet like YouTuber named Oliver Twixt, and just through COVID and quarantine, he started interviewing top model girls on his YouTube channel.
Oh, now I know. Okay, I did see that.
Yeah, and like it was just for fun in the beginning, and then like because I'm in quarantine too, people started tagging me and being like, "Yo, you gotta watch this, Lisa. You gotta watch this." And I watched, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I thought that there was just a few girls that were like an anomaly for top model, that they really psychologically fucked with, that has long-term damage to our life. And then after watching Oliver's videos and all these interviews, I realized that there is a storm behind me of girls that are triggered. They don't want to talk about top model, that are really battling to this day, like that can't wrap their head around what Tyra did to them. It's really sad. And so once I found all that out, because like I had mentioned, like all these years, I just thought that it was like me and a few girls, and they targeted our traumas and like completely used them against us, which we're stuck in like an echo chamber. So all these years, I just surrendered to knowing that I'm just going to be a girl from Top Model that is just going to continuously forever be stuck in an echo chamber of, internet abuse. That being said, I don't think at all that I'm any different or get worse abuse than anybody, right? At this point. But just knowing that I feel like it's just something that I didn't create, and it's such a to bring so much trauma to your life that they weaponizing your trauma already and creating more trauma for like the rest of your life in this echo chamber. It's just horrifying to think that they, not just top model, but like forever in reality shows, that they're going to continue to use this formula.
Yeah, the Bad Girls Club girls said the same thing. They would interview them.
Everyone thinks that I'm from the Bad Girls Club, which really? I think is so funny. Yeah, they go, "What do I know you from? Is it the Bad Girls Club?" And I think that's so funny.
No.
It's not, like, I get it. I just think it's funny that in their head, they go, "Oh, she's like a yeller," or like she's somebody that fights back or whatever. I find it funny.
Yeah, I just, I definitely don't want anyone to negate your pain and your traumas. And your video, it didn't really go into detail, but it did actually shine light on Tyra, because Tyra's always talked, such a humble game that, she didn't want to be like everyone else in the model industry. She didn't want to tear down girls. She was torn down, And to see you guys come out to say, she did exactly that and more, it's just like, what? Because I've always looked up to Tyra. You know, I respected her hustle. You know, I've respected all the barriers that she's broken and things. And from a viewer's perspective, we're thinking that, wow, she's really opening doors for these girls from small towns, from, you know, crazy past. And she's really doing it. But to see you guys all come out now to say, no, that's not what happened. And it was
I'm
worse.
I'm shocked that it took so long for so many others. Now, remember that off of my very first season, I just knew that Eva was she had just won like roughly around when I went on, because I heard from the grapevine.
I remember that, yeah.
And then because I was on cycle 5, and I remember Adrienne Curry, like she was, you know, I never watched television, but Adrienne Curry was like in tabloids, and she was doing this show with somebody from the Brady Bunch or something. And so I was like, well, at least it's getting people, like girls on the show, like in the industry, you know? So I never watched the show. So it's completely my fault going in blind, you know, I own that. But at the same time, I was under the assumption, which it's always bad to assume, but I was 24 years old, and I never thought in a million years that I was putting myself up to be put into like mental slavery, and that it would control like the rest of my life.
Wow.
So
is it sort of like post-traumatic stress disorder that you have from doing the show?
It's just a horrifying experience that I can't even explain to anybody, because even if, let me try to explain this in a way that kind of makes sense. It's hard. Okay, so all reality shows, you know, there's huge franchises, right? Like think like The Bachelor. The Bachelor is a huge syndicated American television show that is extremely popular. And I know that they do some fucked up shit on there, right? Mm-hmm. But it's also, and then that's like a dating show. And then the other biggest huge show that's an American franchise is The Amazing Race. That's like a grown-ups like adventure obstacle course competition, right? It's like for fun.
Okay.
And then there was like The Real World and all that, where it's also still like fun. It's not something that you're doing to base your career on. And then there's America's Next Top Model, where you have these beautiful young girls that are wide-eyed and looking up to Tyra, and her really selling, like, you can be like me. You know, you can be successful in your career, right? Now, imagine her being such a fucking crook and stealing and trying to suck your soul out of you, in the sense that, and putting you into like, and you got to remember, not all the girls she does this to. You know, she picks 2 per season-ish to like super fuck with. Now imagine that being projected in 180 countries on repeat. So I have 12-year-olds to this day that like go on my Instagram and they're like, stop complaining, you dumb alcoholic whore. And I look at their page and I'm like, are you 12 years old? Oh, wow. Like, that was 15 years ago, but they just saw it in their foreign country just recently, you know, because it doesn't stop. It's like this constant echo chamber.
Yeah, they're relicensing it in other countries and stuff. So
there's 193 countries altogether, and Top Model is on repeat forever in 180.
Damn. It's a major bag. That's a major residual bag for Tyra.
For her, and we got paid nothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got paid. I even fought for the girls to get $200 for free for per diem for money. And then they still, and this is my original cycle, minus Brie, who I love to death, and Ebony and a few other girls. But the rest of the girls, they fucking dragged me.
You mean to tell me that show made millions and millions of dollars and didn't pay you guys anything?
Nothing.
How are you supposed to take care of, say for instance, like you're 24 years old, so obviously you have some type of responsibility for yourself. Were you supposed to just give up your, I guess, way of life to pursue this modeling career that's kind of a 1 in 30th chance of you winning and not take care of your responsibilities back home? How are you supposed to do that? And she's taking, to me, it's exploiting, young, ambitious, naive girls for money and selling them everything without giving them anything.
And also selling a complete false, slanderous character of them, which ultimately will not get them hired afterwards in the profession that they so dreamed of being a part of.
Tell me about your upbringing, because yours, to me, I was reading over some notes, and I always like to hear from you. It was very, very traumatic. I don't know if it's true. I mean, I want to ask you.
It was so incredibly traumatic. It was you don't realize how. I mean, I knew at the time how horrible and devastating it was to me, but I was still living in it. But now that I'm fully out and like a parent myself, I'm like, holy shit. Like my son's almost a third grader, and like next year he'll be a third grader. And that's when the sexual abuse started with my mom's boyfriend. He did my sister worse. So when we'd sleep, he would come into our bed and start touching us and stuff. And he said, we can't yell because, my mom will never take our side. Even when we told her, she told us that it was our fault. So we knew that we could never trust her because she told us that we were dressed like a whore. And this started when I was in third grade.
In the third grade, she told you were dressed like a whore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
That's why it was like when I went on Top Model and then they were weaponizing my trauma, that was so devastating. So not only did I get when I get home from school when I was younger, and this is things that I would tell the psychologist, which I thought was completely confidential in the casting process of America's Next Top Model. I told them everything because I thought that I was so lucky that Tyra presented me with an opportunity to go on this awesome show. And now I got to talk to therapists. I thought that I was so lucky. And then to find out that they used it all against me, which is why I drank, because I was trying to numb myself while filming, because I didn't know what else to do, because I got completely blindsided and realized that this isn't a show about modeling, which I had been doing since I was 12. This is Hunger Games. This is mental warfare. I'm not kidding. So they would use all of the childhood trauma things against me. My mom used to tell me to kill myself all the time. Now remember, the only reason that this is spoken calmly is because I've had so much therapy. But I want, when I did an interview with Oliver Twist over the All Stars just last week. And I think because I was so calm and talking about such serious things, it made me unbelievable. People thought they were like, oh, I don't trust anything that comes out of her mouth because I say it so nonchalantly. But I earned my truth and I've done all the work. And I'm in the position now where I can help the other girls and actually change the fucking game of how they film reality TV. But anyway, that's the whole plan. Okay. I'm in a place where I'm powerful. Nobody can fucking fuck with me anymore. Right. And I'm doing this for the line behind me. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm here to tell my story so that people can really understand and digest what they actually do.
So walk us through it. So walk us through a day in the life of being on America's Next Top Model after speaking with therapists and opening up yourself and thinking that this is going to be your way out. And then here you are. Here
I am, and chamber. I'm in a modeling competition, which I think is a modeling competition. And then regardless how kind you are to the other girls, they're just going to show the competitive side. And also sarcasm is super wasted on reality TV. So meaning I'd be like, I'm going to win this shit if it's all right with you, and I would just be playing around, and we all would. They would just use mine and then put that on while the girls, they'll cut to me saying that and show the girls super looking embarrassed by me, which was actually from something totally different. they told all the other girls in their interviews that I was talking shit about them. So right there, that lets you know that you're in a house now that's filming 24/7 around the clock, and you literally have nowhere to rest your head because you are now targeted as the enemy and everyone treats you like shit.
You are
So
like, so many people have said that. Even the Bad Girls Club, like none of the girls had beef. It was the producers behind the scenes telling them.
they plant all these fucked up seeds.
Just to get dramatic scenes for television.
Yeah, like one thing that I remember happened like right away. Like right when we got into the house. It was like day 2, right? Like people haven't fully even put things in drawers yet or anything because we were so busy with the scheduling. I remember it was like day 2. We came home from, I don't fucking know what it was. And then all of a sudden, like some girl's backpack was completely ripped open and like it was a mess everywhere. It was like, oh, I know that, like, I know it's that girl who did it because they already started planting seeds and saying that somebody was talking shit about somebody. So I knew right in that moment that nobody ripped anyone's backpack open. Production ripped that fucking backpack open while we were gone. And I already saw the girls starting to whisper and saying like, well, she was jealous. Like, I bet you she's just jealous. And it started like the pss, 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 and like the little groups everywhere. And I was like, this is crazy. So there was little things that you can kind of like connect the dots to, and then cut to like, here's an example. 2 girls, they just won a challenge, and on cycle 5, for instance, I just did a thing on my YouTube like walking you through, because everyone's like, but look at that, you know, like how could you not be a bitch? Look at this scene. And it's like, let me explain that scene. Everyone in the house was by the pool or just able to hang out for a few hours while the 2 girls filmed this segment for like an MTV Awards something, you know, like got to present an award to somebody, right?
Okay. So
the camera crew's there, everything. And then right before this happened, the girls were like, the 2 girls, the winners, were like, can we borrow your clothes? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, hell yeah, you know, like I'll dress you. So they were in my room. I was dressing them super cute because they were really excited about this. And then they start their shoot. I went outside because I was going to like lay out or be by the pool with all the other girls. And the production brought me and they said, we want you to sit in front of them while they film it. Like they want you to sit there. And I thought that they wanted me to be there in case they needed help, because every girl knew that I had been modeling since I was 12. And the production didn't want me to talk about it on camera. So they wanted to hide all the experience that I had. So I thought they wanted me there. I'm sitting there now for 2 hours. So it looks like I'm sitting there on my own accord, judging them. Like if I'm jealous, because it looks like I'm bored now. So why am I harping over their win of this prize, right? To host this thing or whatever. And I didn't want to stand there or sit there. I wanted to be by the pool. Like I did this as a favor. And then they're like, why don't you go in your room and then you can just be quiet and hang out with Nick and talk to Nick. And I was like, oh my God, great. Because I had been sitting there for 2 hours without anybody to talk to the whole time, not even knowing that they're using that footage to look like I'm jealous and just harping over their win. Like a jealous bitch. Right? To make them uncomfortable. Like if my presence is there to make them uncomfortable. So not the case. So when I got into the room with Nick, which was right off where they were shooting, all of a sudden they had the guy who was hosting it, like giving them the mic or whatever. He comes in, he opens the door and he goes, can you be quiet, please? And I'm like, what? Like they just told me to come in here and I could chill out with Nick and hang out. So now they just made it seem like I'm interrupting what they're doing, even though they just told me to go in there. Do you see?
Yeah.
And so in that moment, I was like, what the fuck is happening? And so now it looks like my conversation is more important than what they're doing, when really I'm like, what are they doing to me? Like, I'm literally just trying to follow directions from what they're telling me to do. I'm trying to be super gracious and follow directions. And then that whole scene was like the first episode, and I'm the bitch, like trying to interfere on people's wins. and like harping on them, right? So they're totally already portraying me as this bitch when like nobody even knows that right before that I was just getting them dressed so they looked great. So it's just what it is. Like they can paint you however they want. That's a prime example. And then let me walk you through like an interview. Okay. Let's say the night of like the Janice Dickinson is shooting the photo shoot for like the medical spa. So you can get like Botox or you can get fake tan or, you know, extensions, whatever. I don't know what it was. And that was a really bad day because not only did they put all the girls in front of me during my photo shoot who then all said, thank God that she's got the Botox category because she's gonna need it, you know. Oh, look at that, she's used to that alcoholic whore, you know. Because I had already had a couple nights of drinking because I was just like trying to catch my gears, and I also had a glass of wine so I could like relax and like get to sleep because I had a sleeping disorder from my trauma. That was something I always dealt with anyways before the house. So to know that with less sleep, less food, because they don't feed you enough also, I got drunk. Not intentionally, but like I was just trying to figure out my way and what I just signed up for.
How did you get the alcohol? Did they provide the alcohol?
No, we bought it. We had the per diem. I actually bought so much alcohol because so many of the girls, they had to send their money home. You know, me too. I had my own apartment. But I just thought that if all these girls need to save this money for when they go home, instead of using it for like food, they weren't going to buy extra things, right?
So they were only giving you per diem to go and buy like extra food, maybe sanitary
toiletries, like tampons or whatever.
That. Okay. And so basically everybody was getting like $200 a month or so, or
we were getting, I think it was like $45 a day or something like that. And then we were supposed to pay for all of our own groceries. And then I fought that. And I said, you know, I had my own apartment. I had been on my own since I was 15 years old. And I remember I fought and I was like, you're giving me $45 a day to pay for my own food, but I have to pay rent. Like we're here for 2 months, you know. I had already had my rent paid before that because I was prepared. But like,
you're like me, girl. Like, listen, no, but that is an inconvenience. Absolutely,
it's a big inconvenience. Yeah. So the girls, all the girls lucked out because I got us all like $200 extra, each for food, so that the per diem, like the $45 a day, was just extra in case we wanted to buy extra things. So like I hooked everybody up. And then still, they just like executed me, man. Just so fucked up. Okay, so let me give you an example. Like, let's say it was after that shoot, the Janice Dickinson one, where there were all the girls were saying this really horrible shit while I'm trying to shoot my pictures. And then right before that, production had Janice Dickinson start a fight with me. So that whole day, I was just attacked, right, by everybody. Like, you just feel like you're living with a lump in your throat, you know, where you just like are just holding it together because all the cameras are there. But like, I felt like a shell of myself. I go into the interview that's for that day. I don't know if I did that interview that night or if it was the next day. And it was like, this is how they start. So Lisa, you didn't really have a good day, did you? Was Janice like really harping on you? That must not feel so good, especially since all the girls, you know, are being really mean to you. Does it remind you of like when your mom used to tell you to kill yourself? Are you in that space? And I'd be like, no. And it's like, are you sure? Because I know that was like, you know, that's really hard. And that's like what you've been dealing with like your whole life.
Now see, somebody would have got fucked up on that set right then.
You know, it gets so in the
I've been molested. I know how that is. And to weaponize that against me, a producer would have had to have a lot of fucking security. Let's put the wine down for a second, because at times like this, we need to take a shot. On the olive leaf extract because the olive leaf boosts our immune system and has been known to reverse high blood pressure, lupus, diabetes, and certain cancers. Check them out at myoliveleaf.biz to learn more and to order, or simply click the link below in the description box. Now back to the wine. AdamandEve.com. I'm talking toys, bondage, lingerie, and so much more. Plus, they have 24/7 customer service, so you can order at 3 a.m. if you ain't coming, if you get me, okay? And if something isn't working out, you can send it back within 90 days, no hassle. And if that's not enough, you can also take pleasure in knowing that 20% of their profits goes to help fight the spread of HIV around the world. So go on ahead and log on to AdamandEve.com. Use the code TASHAK for 50% off one item plus free shipping in the US and Canada. Some exclusions apply now, but hurry up and visit AdamandEve.com so they can make you come.
See, I enjoy oral sex, but to be honest, some of my experiences have been not pleasing due to lack of proper vaginal hygiene. I went down on this chick once, and the yoni was so good and fresh. It took me on like a whole nother level of just pleasure. So at that moment, I had to stop and ask, what are you using? And she told me, embrace Pangea Feminine Wash.
We all know that a fresh yoni brings on a whole new level of confidence, so visit embracepangea.com, and of course, I got my winos covered for a discount, so use the coupon code TASHAK for 10% off your first order. They were trying to
I'll
trigger
tell you
you.
this.
They were triggering you.
Oh, the whole time. The whole time. And then making sure that everything was attacking me. All the girls were attacking me the whole time. So you got to remember that, like, if anybody did that shit to me now, same. Like, you better have a fucking security guard. How
Yeah.
dare you? But you got to remember that, like, I came from a place where I had never had any therapy. I had never confronted this at such a level before, because I moved out when I was 15 years old, and I was just in survival mode ever since. And I was doing really great. I was excelling. I felt like I was the strongest person in the whole world, because not only was I sexually abused from the time I was 3rd grade to 7th grade with my sister, but also my mom was super abusive physically. So I didn't know if I would come into the house and be dragged by my hair or punched in the stomach or, you know, told to kill myself, or, you know, I don't even know why I even gave birth to you. You know, that kind of talk was like all the time. So, and she had a really bad eating disorder. She was bulimic. And so I'd come home and there'd just be like pans of throw up everywhere.
Oh my God.
Oh
my God.
I get my, you know, all these interviews always happen like right before my period. So, you know, where you just have that like little extra emotions. I just, you know what I think about when I say this now? It's more of just like, I can't believe how far and gross people will go. You know, like I just think of that little young, beautiful, talented young woman. Like, why would you do that to her? You know, it's more like that. It just makes me sad thinking of who she was, because all I ever wanted to do was to, I just wanted to follow directions, and I wanted to show everybody how talented I was, because I worked really hard for my talent. At that time, I had put myself through Playhouse West. I had put myself through Howard Fine, which were the most impressive acting schools. I held down 2-3 jobs at a time my whole life. I had already modeled in New York and Milan and back to New York, and then modeled in New Zealand and Australia in models apartments. You know, when I was 15 years old, I lived in New York by myself with my modeling agency. So it's like, as far as living with other girls, this wasn't something I wasn't used to. And so it just was so polarizing to me that this is what I was in, you know? I thought I went into a modeling competition. I did not think I was going into mental warfare. So what I'm doing, ultimately, the reason why I'm even doing interviews and doing all of this is that now looking back, you got to realize just over this past year, I've just realized that there's 60, 70 girls behind me that are just too scared to say anything. And I'm in a position in my life now as like an ANTM OG, you know, that has crawled through the trenches out to like super mental health, along with like a lot of success that has nothing to do with my dreams. My dreams were completely shattered. And being an inventor and being a businesswoman and building a business with my husband is why I'm successful. And so I just feel like I'm in the position now where if anyone can carry this load and who's strong enough to put themselves out there, basically for backlash, you know, putting yourself out there on the line for backlash is a lot to take in. It's really emotional and it's very triggering. There's a lot of girls behind me that want justice in this, and but they can't fight on the front lines with me because it's too much.
Wow.
So it's just sad, you know?
So how's your business going? I saw that you were on Shark Tank and
Yeah, I was on Shark
you
Tank.
won. How did that work
into-
out for you? Was that more of a positive experience for you in reality TV?
Yeah, yes. And also they do use a lot of the same like tricks, you know, like
Okay.
I was standing in front of them for 2 hours and they were just drilling me with like stupid shit. So then it made me like so frustrated because I wanted to tell them about the the real amazing details of my product, you know? And then they just harp on something really stupid like, why'd you pick those 4 colors? And why'd you pick 4 colors? Why didn't you pick 2 colors? And I'm like, listen, kids, you know, like, because they make you feel like you don't have any time to present your product. So they do still do a lot of tricks. And then one of them was like, they kept saying that I was lying. And of course they're going to use that on, I was like, here we go again. They're just going to like pin something on me where it looks like I have to defend myself when I never fucking lied, you know?
What'd they say you lied about? Or yeah.
In the very, very beginning, I told everyone, thank you so much for having me. I feel so privileged and honored to be here. I've watched Shark Tank from day one, which is true. And then during the middle of us going back and forth and the deals happening between, oh my God, I can't forget his name. The middle one. Oh my God.
I can't think of his name.
It's okay. Okay. The middle one, the one that's like kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Mostly a dick. More of the dick than any of them.
He's missing the hair in the middle.
Yeah.
He only has hair on the sides.
I'm embarrassed that I can't remember right now.
It's okay.
But because they asked me about the evaluation of my product. So basically, the baby toddler market is worth 221.7 billion estimated in 2021, which is this year.
Okay.
And just my product alone is not just one product, it's a 5-in-1, which means that it actually enters 5 to 7 different categories within that space, right?
Okay.
So basically I could put a lot of multi-million-dollar companies out of business because my product caters to so many of those that are a single product, which makes the evaluation of my patents extremely priceless. That's why I'm supposedly one of the most successful top models in history. I would agree. You know, that this was not an easy task to do. Being an inventor is very hard. Patents are very expensive. And bringing a product to market from your imagination is so hard.
It is.
And I did it. And I got a deal on Shark Tank in spite of like the way that they even tried to carry that dialogue. What they didn't, I don't think what they were prepared for was that I know how to flip this shit back around. This isn't my first rodeo. You know, I'm not like from Idaho that lived on whatever, like this, you know, in this little neighborhood. I'm from reality television. Like, don't fuck with me, you know? When they said that I was lying, they said that me telling my evaluation of the baby toddler market and the evaluation of what I value my product at, you aren't supposed to do on this show because, as you know, we don't like it when you say that. Guess what? I do know that you guys don't like it when entrepreneurs say that. I also know that you guys still consistently give deals to the entrepreneurs that do mention that, because you're also quizzing them if they even fucking know those numbers.
Right.
So don't fuck with me, you know? So I was like, okay, you want to play this game? If you did watch us from day one, then you would know that we don't like it when you talk about the evaluation of your product and of the market. I do know that, actually. Thank you so much. I do know that you don't like it. I also know that you respect it. Moving on, you know?
So are you still, is your deal still like, are you still in partnership with Shark Tank and one of the investors? Is that still, or is
there, Barbara's team is very much on our, the doors are wide open. She's like more on our advisory board.
Okay.
But just during quarantine, we entered 3 new territories. So we entered, India. Oh my God, I don't have my computer on me.
It's okay. It's okay.
India, South Africa, and one other place. I wonder if it's on these notes. But we're killing it. We're killing it. I just ordered.
Tell us a little bit about your product, though, just in case people aren't.
Sure.
Like,
thank you so much.
Not a problem.
That is so cool. What I created is a 5-in-1 solution to help parents feed their kids on the go or at home.
Oh.
It's a food-grade silicone bib that is attached to a divider bowl PP tray that is not only a food catcher, but it is also an airtight seal food storage unit. And it also comes with a spork that slides in the back. So basically what it is it's like a kid's food spaceship that's all divided. It's microwave safe, dishwasher safe, and it ranges from, the age range is 6 months to 7 years plus.
Oh, wow.
And it's amazing. So we eliminate all the mystery space between a stroller bar or tabletop. So not only do we help eliminate laundry, which conserves clothes, buying new clothes, because let's be real, OxyClean does not take out everything that you feed your child.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. And also just spills in general, like your car, all of that. It also helps to provide healthier meals on the go with homemade alternatives, because as we know, we don't know what we're feeding every time we go through the drive-thru real quick. And then what do we do all the time with kids all day long is we feed them snacks. Well, now you can be prepared, and you're saving money too, because now you aren't buying out with foods that you don't even know what are in it. And my kid, for instance, the There You Go OG, Daxel, my firstborn,
Okay.
he didn't like food touching. So that was a big thing. So with the divider bowl bib situation, it's no food touches. And then also what we call it in our house is like squirrel. It's like when a kid's eating or doing something, then all of a sudden they see something and run off.
Yeah.
That it's so easy, because if they don't finish something and life happens, not only can you just flap it over so like bugs or flies don't get on it, to where you don't even have to fully seal it, but you can also seal it all the way around. And then the only thing that comes off is the spork. And if you lose the spork, we made it so that the little slits in the back will fit any utensil from any like food cord,
so cool.
or it's
I
really
see
cool.
How this looks. Yeah. Okay.
Here I have it.
Oh, let me see. Okay.
Ta-da!
Oh.
There you go.
Okay. Open it up. Let me see. Yeah, open it. Oh, I see the spork.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really, really cool. We actually just ordered more because we ran out in turquoise on Amazon, and now we're doing better packaging that's more eco-friendly. So we're going big. Okay, so check this out so you can see it. I'm gonna seal this one. Here we go. So let me start it from like the way I would get it out of the car if I packed something.
I use that type of bib every day that has the swoop inside, So I would.
Oh, the food
I don't
catcher.
have because I have a 2-year-old. So yeah, the food catcher.
Oh my God, you need to get a dairy. I have to send you one.
Okay.
Okay, so as you can see, you can just stack them. You can like do prep meals for the week, right?
Okay.
And just keep them in the fridge. So what you would do is I just push these right behind there, the bib part.
Okay.
And then it's an airtight seal.
Oh wow.
Divider bowl. And then you just grab the spork from the back. Boom. And let's say like the kid's walking and like wants to pick up a flower and you think, oh my God, everything's going to spill out, right? Check this out. Gravity works on our side. Nothing falls. Wait, let me get it. Ugh.
No,
oh my God, the light's
yeah,
going
nothing
down.
falls. Yeah.
The gravity catches it. My light is there we go. So do you see this?
Yeah.
Look. It's the coolest. And kids love it more than anything because they feel like they're so independent now.
My son would love to get his little puffs out of there and just...
Yeah. They're in the car and their car seat or in the stroller and they're like looking and they're exploring why they've got their snacks on them.
Okay, that
Hands-free.
is very cool. Congratulations. I love that. I love to see entrepreneurs, especially young entrepreneurs, doing the damn thing. That is a very, very cool product. And you don't have to send me one. I will definitely support. So, and I'm going to link your product below too, just in case there are any moms out there that say, hey, I want this, and they can go ahead and cop it for you. So the link is below. But you know, one thing that I love about you is that you are not afraid to say to the world that you are privileged and you are white, and you use that to advocate for
Black Lives Matter and humanity and just the BIPOC community in general. Yeah,
I love that about 100%.
You. Yeah, I don't mess around with my activism. I know that the whole way I'll probably get people saying that I'm doing it for clout, or I'm doing it for all the wrong reasons, or I'm trying to be popular or cool or whatever. And I'm like, let me just say, like, this is not fun work. Like, I'm not doing this for fun or for clout. You know, I get teared apart doing it every day. People just questioning my intentions of it. Also, just for your viewers, 50% of our proceeds from dareyougo.com actually go to racial equality.
Oh, so, wow. Well, there it is. There it is.
There you go.
You put your money where your mouth is. Look.
Yeah. I
love that. I love that. I will definitely encourage the Wino gang to support. And you know, people don't understand. You know, like, you know, my ancestors fought, but it was when, you know, the whites that had your heart joined with them to talk to the whites that were in power to say, hey, this is wrong. And it wasn't until, you know, your ancestors got on the bus to say, with us, with our ancestors, to say, fuck this and no more. And that is racial equality. That's how you bring people together, not just one race, you know, trying to break down doors. It's everybody. It's all in one. And I love that you are using your platform, regardless of what people may think, you know. And
I've been called all the things. The latest one was I'm a bully activist.
Oh.
That was because what I do is I've hit up people on social media being like, you know, you have such a beautiful platform, like why don't you use it? If you believe, do you believe in Black Lives Matter? Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just curious, like, why don't you post anything about it? Because you being a fan, or you being a top model girl, or you being this or whatever, like your audience, you starting to do it, then they go, oh, well, maybe I can do it too. And then it's like, then it's like, well, you just want me to be performative? No, I don't want you to just be performative. I want you to do all the right things in your community and learn and do all those things. But at the same time, like, we are in COVID and in quarantine right now. We have a whole tool that reaches mass amounts of people. So use this tool, because guess what? This is already a 400-year problem, and we're in a crisis right now, like fucking insane crisis. So you're telling me that this is something that's not really up your alley because it's not really the aesthetic of your page, but you believe in it and you do the work outside in your community, which is great. I applaud. But it's like me even questioning somebody, then people go, oh, I can't believe you just asked that of her. Like, she doesn't have to do that. She's allowed to do whatever she wants with her platform. She doesn't need to answer to you. And I'm like, all I did was ask.
You know, social media, I say this is the modern day getting on the bus. This is social media. And it's much more powerful. definitely makes noise. And when social media decides to jump in and say no more, people start making decisions. People start losing jobs. They start, being held accountable.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I just want to
It's
thank
a
you
scary
for that.
place.
Yeah, it is.
I know it's scary. And I also know that a lot of people don't have the fire in them to do this because it takes a lot of fight. Like if I were sensitive, I probably wouldn't be able to do it at the extent that I'm doing it. But I truly have gotten to a place in my life where I have been dragged and called the worst names on a completely false, slanderous idea and perception of who I am. And so I just really don't care. I've been so disliked for so long, thanks to Tyra, that I don't even care. Like I'm just past that because I found love. I know who I am fully down to like, I know exactly who I am. I have what I want. I couldn't be happier. I've accepted love in my life. I love myself. So if anyone can be in the trenches and really like fill my heart with all the pain and trauma that I've endured in my life, it's almost like now that it's like empty now, like I've emptied out all the pain and all the sorrow and all the trauma, and I have to fill it now with something good. I need to do what's right. Like, when you have kids, you want to make it a better place for them. And like, I've already agreed that I think this world sucks and there's so much evil in it. And the only reason that I was going to continue my life was to cherish my family, what I create, and make that really beautiful so that at least that's paying it forward to the next generation just in my own family. That being said, like I'm like, oh my God, I can make even a bigger impact, and I can now inspire other people to then do that, and it will just be a constant domino effect. Because what else is the point?
Yeah.
What else is the point?
I agree.
For what? So I'm supposed, now that I can technically like not do anything, what a fucking privilege. Like when I would, like, there was some day, like probably a few days ago, because I did that Oliver Twist interview, and it's all ANTM fandoms. Like, fandom culture is also really toxic. But it was just like, I don't care. I really don't. But I'm still a human, And so things that are just said that are so hurtful. And it just makes you realize, like, how privileged I am. Because I'll have the moment where, like, well, fuck this. Like, I don't have to do anything. Like, if I wanted to, I could just, like, go fucking sit by the pool all day. And, like, what a fucking privilege. How dare I? No, fuck that. I'm going to take this fuel and guns blazing, and I'm going to make this world a better place for your kids, for my friend's Bree's little son, like everyone. This is bullshit. And I just feel like enough people are either still fucked up. I think this whole country needs therapy. I think that, for instance, like everyone like harped on me and made so much fun of me because I got drunk on a reality show where I didn't hurt anybody, and you could tell that I'm hurting.
We get drunk on this show every day. That's what we do.
So listen, if you think about this, I know. Cheers, by the way. If we filmed this on Saturday, I would cheers with you. But I only let myself have wine on the weekend.
That's me too. Yeah, because I mean, the wines get back on the pounds. It's like So.
Do you work out?
I do.
You do work out
every day.
That's good. Me too.
Yeah.
So listen to this whole thing. So on the All Stars of Top Model, the most popular girl on Top Model that didn't go on to like more television shows and stuff like Eva, right? And also there's a lot. Even Winnie's super successful. I think she's almost bypassed Tyra as far as followers. But just for being a model mostly, she's got a massive following, and Allison, told the entire world that she has a weird obsession with blood. Like, so she's got the most insane cult following, and people admire that and think it's so cool and interesting that she wants to paint with her own blood. But yet everyone thought that I was a piece of garbage because I got drunk on a show, because I was experienced a whole new experience that I had never experienced.
Oh,
so you guys are going to call me every single name in the book forever.
Oh, fuck them.
But you're going to glamorize a girl that literally paints in the corner with her own blood.
That sounds like some Azalea Banks shit.
I'm telling you, that's some fucking crazy ass shit. And after winning All Stars, her followers, they created satanic accounts of me. They targeted young children, making me the big bad wolf.
Oh God.
Yes. This is what I'm talking about. Do you think Top Model did anything? No. Do you think after me begging and showing all the proof to Allison, being like, look, you're tagged in all of these thousands of comments and posts where people are like, fuck you, Lisa, when I see you, I'm gonna cut your neck off. You know, people were sending me pictures of putting, and this was 10 years ago. You know, like now people get death threats and it's so normalized. Like, oh yeah, I get death threats every day. But this wasn't 10 years ago. This wasn't like the normal thing. No. And I have pictures of people putting knives to my face. And I begged Allison, begged her to please, please, please say something to her fans. Did she? No. I sent all the proof. I sent everything to Top Model. Do you think they did anything? No. Because they don't give a shit. And they knew who they put on the show. They knew that Allison had all these cult, crazy, fucking whack job followers. And they wanted those viewers for money. They knew they weren't going to have her win.
What do you want to say to Tyra?
I want Tyra to know that it's time. It's time. It's time for her to address all the pain that she's caused to all these girls. I mean, I'm sure she thought that I was just going to be thrown in the gutters and she'd never hear from me again, even though she knows that I'm daring as fuck. And I told her for my first audition that I'm the strongest fucking person in here and nobody's going to fucking stop me. Guess what? Maybe you should listen to what people tell you, because I wasn't fucking kidding. This is who I am. Why did she pick me? Why did she pick me to be the All-Star winner? She knows that I don't give a fuck. She knows that my brand is daring. She gave me that. She knows that, and also the panel of judges, they even said in interviews just recently that there was no any talk of like who's gonna win when it was top like 3 or 2. They were just told that it was me. So I don't know if Tyra's like doing this on purpose to like kill the satanic fucking gross evil culture that is Top Model, because maybe she knew that. I know that it's also just a formula that they use for reality TV, but like even Jay Manuel came out and he's like, the only reason I went back on the show is because they were threatening me and saying that the studios would never hire me ever again unless I did it. He's like, it's a whole culture. Like they're toxic. It's disgusting. Girl, I just talked to an international Top Model winner from another country. Somebody told her to contact me. Dude, the stories that I heard on an international level is fucked up.
Wow.
So I'm going to be coming out with more information, and it's going to be executed in the best way at some point. But, you know, I'm still homeschooling and stuff, so I'm not going to, nothing's like a, you know, it's a marathon. It's not a race.
No,
and I know that Tyra's not, she doesn't fucking care, because she's just like, you know, eating her dumbass fucking Smize cream in her like gated community, you know?
Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for being so transparent and so open and sharing your experience and being able to like overcome that and, you know, dominate you know, in the entrepreneurial field. So you are extremely fun. I do see your resilience, and yeah, I'm honored to have talked to you. So, and if you're the contestant that won, internationally wants to tell her story, my platform is open, and we can do a whole sit down, very nice, and we will definitely handle her story with care. So
Yeah, oh, girl,
yeah.
that would be so awesome.
Yeah, and I can get my show producer Chelsea to arrange that and set that up. So
There's
along with
two
some
other girls that are
as
on
well.
Yeah, the two other girls are on the front lines too. Like what they did to Gianna is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Like these stories are insane. And like I said, I thought that I was like an anomaly. Turns out, nope. I'm just strong enough to come out with it. And also when this all started, I'm wrapping it up, but
No,
I
you're
didn't
good.
want to do it. Like these other girls they asked me to do it. And I considered it, but I was like, I know it's a lot of work. I know it's going to take a lot of dedication. It's going to take a lot of pain, a lot of being triggered all day long. And I'm willing to do it because I'm trying to change the game. Okay. There's nothing that I want except for this to never happen to anybody else ever again.
Wow.
That is true.
Thank you. Don't get emotional. You're going to make me cry.
It's just to think that this could happen over and over and over again to other people. It's just, that's what I'm fighting for.
Well,
from my heart.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Anytime. Let everybody know where they can follow you and ask you questions. And, if they want to become a model, future models,
I can guide them in that direction, along with if anybody has problems with addiction or knows somebody with addiction, even if anybody knows somebody that's going to commit suicide or has suicidal thoughts, I can help them with that too. Okay. I know where to guide everybody. I know how to fix people because I fix myself. Okay. And so please, anybody contact me. I will every single day, actually, on the back end of Instagram or even YouTube, I'll get DM'd. And I'm constantly helping people with ketamine infusion therapy, which is for, to cure addiction and also suicidal thoughts. And all types of rehabs. I know I have all types of resources, so I'd love to be used as a resource to help people out.
Okay. Thank you so much. And we're going to link your social media as well as a link to your product as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That is so sweet.
Anytime. We will definitely be in contact. Stay beautiful, stay graceful, and keep that fire going, okay?
Okay.
Now we gotta go. Bye.
Thank you.